Hi, I'm Capt Frank Lanier, a retired Coast Guard officer and SAMS Accredited Marine Surveyor with over 40 years of experience in the maritime and diving industry. I've amassed literally thousands of photos of all the bad things I've found on boats during my career as a Marine Surveyor. So what we're going to do today is take a look at some of my favorites. We're going to take a look at each picture. We're going to discuss why they're evil, and we're going to discuss what you need to do to correct it. So hop in, buckle up, keep your arms and legs inside the car at all times as we take a carnival-like ride tour through the cavalcade of owner-induced perversions that I like to call Captain Frank's Sea Chest of Horror. Sea Chest of Horror.
Composite to metal fittings or joints are never recommended, particularly where seacocks and through holes below the waterline are concerned. By composite, I mean a fitting that's made out of plastic or Marlon, something other than bronze or stainless steel, something other than metal. This is especially true of these residential style PVC shutoff valves screwed onto a bronze through hull that the builder has installed in lieu of a proper seacock. PVC has no business on a through hull fitting regardless of the location above or below the waterline. Metal and composite components have different expansion and contraction ratios, which can result in composite component failure due to cracks or splits. In this case, the PVC valves and components should be replaced with a proper marine grade seacock. Seacocks must meet ABYC, the American Boat and Yacht Council standards, which include operation of a lever type handle, usually operating through a 90-degree arc that gives a clear indication of whether the seacock is open or shut, and a mounting that will withstand 500 pounds of force applied to the inner end of the attached fitting. When installing a new seacock, replacement of the corresponding through hull is also recommended, this to prevent the possibility of thread mismatch between the new seacock and the existing through hull. Small boats and big engines often equate to major headaches from both a survey and a maintenance standpoint. The more of a pain it is to do maintenance, the greater chance that the maintenance is going to be deferred or not get done. These twin 454 Crusader engines were shoehorned in so tight in this mid-sized powerboat that an average-sized person could barely even stand sideways between them, let alone access components to conduct preventive maintenance or repairs. It's also impossible to physically access the spaces or equipment located forward of and outboard of both engines. The owner commented that when he had to replace the battery charger, which was located on the bulkhead forward of the starboard engine, he hired a 7-year-old boy to squeeze into the space and unscrew the mounting bolts for him. The Cutless bearing, which is shown here, is from a mid-sized power vessel. It was so severely worn that the shaft was actually damaged and had to be replaced. A Cutless bearing is a short metal tube, usually of brass, with an inner rubber lining with multiple grooves running fore and aft of it. The bearing holds the shaft steady as it turns, while the grooves, which run fore and aft of it, allow water to enter the bearing and provide lubrication while the shaft is turning. Cutless bearing replacement is a routine maintenance item. The rubber eventually wears away, resulting in shaft looseness, which, if left unaddressed, can result in a number of problems, from excessive shaft vibration to drivetrain alignment issues. The grooved channels of this bearing are completely worn away, meaning water was unable to enter and lubricate the shaft. No lubrication of the shaft resulted in scoring due to friction and an actual reduction in diameter of the shaft where it passes or passed through the Cutless bearing. Even when a new Cutless bearing of the proper size was installed, the shaft still had an unacceptable amount of play due to the reduction in diameter, which means now you've got to replace the shaft as well. Double hose clamps should only be installed where there is sufficient length of hose barb available, at least 1/4 inch from the end of the hose barb fitting to the second clamp. In this photo, the owner has installed a second hose clamp that extends over the end of the hose barb. Doing so can cut into the hose or force the hose to be internally cut by the fitting, as is shown here. If unable to install double clamps where they are recommended, you need to replace the fitting with one having a longer hose barb or install a single beefier hose clamp of the appropriate size. Double hose clamps should be separated by at least 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch if possible, with the screws located on opposite sides of the hose.